Honorable Chairman, honorable members of the Board of Supervisors, Nick Berardino, the Orange County Employees Association. We sent the board on October 9th a letter requesting that public hearings be held before a contract of this size in the IT department, given what the IT history has been of this county, be held before adoption. We have not received an answer to our request, not even a courtesy phone call or response saying yes or no. We totally ignored on that, which I think is probably more, I would think, part of the design, the way these IT contracts in my 39 years here have seen how they've been handled. That's what this is really all about. It's all about backdoor deals, it's all about backroom dealing, and it's all about everything being done in secret. To say that's not true, I would think that, I think if we did have the opportunity to have public hearings, I think we can prove that is true. In fact, as we sit here today, the lobbyists who have been lobbying you are here prepared, sitting in the front row and other places, to be sure all of you fulfill your commitments that you've made to them in private. And in addition to that, the things that we thought that were important for, and you notice in the state legislature or in the federal legislatures that's not allowed, but here in Orange County you can get a front row seat to be sure that people are voting the right way. What we asked for the public hearings is, one, that all details regarding the specific terms and conditions of the contracts be discussed publicly. All information regarding any pending and past litigation involving the bidders or their officers or executives. I wonder if we're going to hear that today in the public discussion. In fact, one of these bidders has a $55 million claim. I think it's 55 or 45, no, $4.5 million claim to spend, and there's others too. But I'm sure you'll be discussing that and let the public know, because I'm sure that that's been something you'll be revealing here today. Any political donations made by bidders to the members of the Board of Supervisors, and when those contributions were made, full disclosure of any lobbying efforts made by the bidders, including the names of the lobbying firms, the lobbyists, and contributions made by the lobbying firms. The reason why we wanted to have these public hearings is, let's go back to our IT program here, which is a floating shipwreck, and has been a floating shipwreck that has cost the taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable for you to sit here and say, yeah, this is going to save us a lot of money. You know how many times this board has said it's going to save us a lot of money? We can start going back to the assessors thing. It's still not done 3 years ago. It didn't save you any money. We can talk about a number of other things. In fact, your own auditor showed that $45 million was, there was $45 million in sole source contracts that never went out for bid. You spent $852,000 for a study that after you to study what you should do in the IT IT program, and after completing that study, then your auditor said the study, the $852,000 you spent for it to do the study was all wrong. It didn't contain the right things. And then failure to monitor the contracts resulted in a 17.5% increase. 17.5% increase, and that's more than the 12% or somebody was talking about saving here, just in 1 year, because your auditor found nobody was monitoring it. And so what I think is the public deserves to know everything about it. And I find also, we had a meeting with the IT rank and file, and Supervisor Wynn mentioned the rank and file have been consulted, the rank and file professionals. Rank and file professionals have been closed out of this process. There have been some, there have been few, but it's been primarily done by management and executives and other people. The rank and file people were closed out. I had a meeting with them and not long ago. So there's a lot more to be done here, and let's face it. And people are going to be losing their jobs. They're not benefiting. Some of you have benefited from this contract because you've gotten money from the people that are other vendors. Gotten money from them. You're benefiting from it. What about those 19 people that are going to lose their jobs? What kind of benefit are they getting? I'll tell you, they're not getting the benefit that some of you have gotten while these lobbyists stare you down today. And that, we want to be public about a lot of things. I'm willing to begin to talk about a lot of things publicly. A lot of things. We want to talk about our contract. I'm ready to go today. Start talking publicly. I got a lot of things to talk about. So it's time the public has the opportunity because you're talking about $225 million. Get some academics in here. Let's review it. If it's gone on 2 years, we can take a little more time to review it, go through the public hearings, get a panel of academics, get the rank and file people in here. Let's take the politics out of it and figure out what's really the best course of action for the people here. And, you know, today is by no means a public hearing. Thank you very much for the time out there, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that.
Well, if you were a little more passionate about it, I'd give you more time.
Well, I can be more passionate about it
great,
because,
Mr. Berardino. Thank you very much for your.
Well, I just want to see if we're going to get any public hearings. That's all I'm saying. Is the public going to know, or is this it?
It is a public hearing. We're
come
meeting
on.
for the open.
Come on. No, this is on the agenda. It wasn't agendized as a public hearing. You know it's not a public hearing.
You know what I mean. It's
not
open
here.
for the public to come.
Yeah, it's open for discussion like any other single board item, including if it was a $45 item, would be the same agenda items as this. So come on, let's be honest about that. It's nowhere near a public hearing.
Supervisor Wynn has a question.
I do, Mr. Berardino. We served together on the IT working group back in 2007.
Which was disbanded.
Yes, by my recommendation to the board. I want to apologize if I misspoke in regards to the rank and file. I was told, at least, I can't expect staff to have all 18,000 employees involved, but I understood there were some. So we'll find out from staff. But you
I hope you find out before you vote, because the problems with these other IT contract supervisors are they have not reached down to the users. They haven't spent the time doing it. And come on, we have failed. We're a dismal failure with IT contracts. And now we're going to let out a contract of $200 and some million, and we haven't even talked to a lot of the people that are involved. It's crazy.
Second, I wanted to just make sure I remember it correctly. Didn't you support the contract that went out, the so-called $800,000 contract that went out from the IT working group? Because it was voted on. It was started. We hired two firms. It actually wasn't $800,000. It was about $600,000. But it was voted. It was put forward to go through that process of looking at our overall countywide IT system in 2006, prior to me being there. By the time I got there, it was already in process. By 2009, the IT working group voted on allowing that to go forward to the Board of Supervisors, and then March of 2009, it came to the Board of Supes, and that's when Supervisor Bates and myself said, hold on, wait a minute, let's go through a performance audit review. So I just want to make sure that, if I remember correctly, you were part of that process in that so-called $800,000 or $600,000.
Sure.
Just so that we all are clear that we were there together in voting for that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because, in fact, I don't think I did vote for it. And number one, the fact is, when the county first went out for bid Tom Mock and Satish, they wanted to spend $1.1 million. Eric Norby from Supervisors Norby's office and me went crazy about that.
And I remember that.
You remember that? So you're going to spend this much
discussion.
money. Then it was then when it was reduced, I think that I don't recall voting for it, but I probably was so happy to see the county save $400,000 from a contract that maybe I might have. And the second thing is, if we want to talk about what happened in that, what happened was Tom Mock, the CEO at that time, Eric Norby and myself said, we want copies of every IT contract that we want to review, and we want to look at all those, and we want to see they're performing things. Then the CEO at that time said, well, it's just the union trying to protect their jobs. Don't worry about it. We never got those. Eric Norby also in protest left. I left the meeting. And then when we got closer and closer to about who's getting these, and God forbid the county, if they would have listened to us, we wouldn't have been in the trouble we're in now, at least with the assessor's office. The IT thing's a mess. You've got your own people doing it. Have public hearings, have academics.
Nick,
give it another 3 weeks.
Nick, I just wanted to clarify for that part of what your comment is, that you were part of the process at the beginning. It was also open to the public, and also the vendors, our current vendors, was a part of that as well. And, if I remember correctly, I know that, yes, there was opposition of the cost and everything. I know that. It was very lively discussion in our ad hoc committee, not ad hoc, that committee group. And so I just wanted, to make sure that everybody knows that you and I were there, and I was there, I was chair of it, but going through that process, we knew that this was coming, and because of those concerns, that's when it came to the board in March of 2009. I asked for the performance audit to occur so that we don't go forward with the recommendation, and thank goodness we did. So a lot of those have been incorporated into the process, but there are those that aren't, and I will address those in a little bit, but I just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Well, is the response to our letter and our request, are we going to get it here today?
Well, let's see how it evolves, Mr. Berardino.
Yeah, we'll see if the power of the lobbying, the third house in Orange County, which, again, get to attend meetings, get to sit in front rows and stare at you, which is not allowed, as Supervisor Bates and Supervisor Campbell know in the state legislature. It's not allowed anywhere else. We'll see how that goes here today. But we didn't even get a response. And I say just give it a couple, and they can come too, have public hearings, have the lobbyists here too. But at least let's get it all out. Let's get some academics in. Let's not make the same mistakes that have been huge mistakes that we've made repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. During the county bankruptcy, as you know, Supervisor Morlock, one of the things that was discovered back in 1994 was that there was millions of dollars that were wasted in the IT work. And that was, a big part of the discussion of money that was wasted. Let's take our time. You've taken your time, but let's get the public involved. Let's get the taxpayers involved. Let's get everything out in the open. Everybody disclose everything, who's been talking to who, about what, who's gotten money from who. There's nothing wrong with that. Get it all out there. Who's received money from these firms, or their offices, their lobbyists. Let's get it all out. And then, in the public hearings, and make a decision. That's all we ask for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Berardino.